Hello everyone, I'm the Connoisseur, and well, this is it. It's the 13th episode of the 8th season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, the mid-season finale, the Mean Six. And I gotta say, I don't know. Something about this episode didn't sit right with me, and I think I know one or two reasons why. It's just, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. The concept is there because I'm sure we would love to see an interaction between the main six and the discordant version of the main six from the season 2 premiere Elements of Harmony. And they make these interactions happen through the setting of going through the forest and going on a camping adventure and, sort of a nature walk, allowing for the main six to be separated and then replaced and, meet up with these alternate versions of themselves. And I feel like the pacing at the beginning was incredibly rushed because we just go right into Twilight being impatient over this photographer from a Candlelight Society who then just comes in and basically says very quickly that, oh, we love that you're doing the friendship school and, we love how, how good of a bond you have. So I'm going to, tidy you all up and take photos. And we can clearly see that she's trying to take a sliver of hair from their manes, and, we just immediately get revealed that, it's Chrysalis. I will say that after this scene, I do like the whole entire animation with Chrysalis's magic, and I do like that they're portraying her as sort of desperate because this really is like her last-ditch effort, or at least that's what I believe it to be. And, she's getting mentally insane because she has a voice in her head that's talking to herself, and she's basically saying, yes, I know that, I know we're gonna do this and that, but I talk to myself too, and I think that some people might as well. I do it, usually when I'm alone, like Chrysalis, but I do it to organize myself, and honestly, that's sort of like Chrysalis, so it reminds me of myself, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that there are times where you want to organize yourself and what you're gonna do in the day, so I'll say to myself, okay, what am I going to do today? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. If I can't do this, that's not, whatever. It's not a necessity. And I'll go on and I'll ramble to myself, but it'll help me organize. And then we see that Chrysalis makes the Mean Six out of these trees with the photos of the main six, the sliver of their mane, and their cutie mark. And we can see how, they look, desaturated, and even their cutie marks are, weird, and they're not right. There's something amiss about each one of them, be it Applejack's green apple cutie mark or Rarity's, more blue, less like, diamond, like silver blue color cutie mark, Rainbow Dash's cutie mark just being flat out upside down. And I'll get into this later. But, the main six are on their way through the forest, and we see these little things happen, such as Fluttershy getting sidetracked to help a bird, and, Applejack helping, Starlight, giving her the treatment of being on a nature walk and going to a campsite, basically, because it's her first time. And, all of these little things that cause the main six to get separated. And then, of course, Chrysalis is having a hard time, quote-unquote, rallying up her troops and sending them out to do their job. We can see, most notably, that Pinkie Pie, the mean Pinkie Pie is just bored, because that's sort of the opposite of what the actual Pinkie Pie is. She's always having fun. And we see how she's just like, lazy and just, slumped over and not doing anything, and Chrysalis is getting really upset. I do like that the mean version of Twilight is smart enough to realize that, hey, Chrysalis needs us so much more than we need her. Why don't we turn on her and get the Elements of Harmony for ourselves? Because the whole purpose is that Chrysalis wants the Mean Six to get the Elements of Harmony from the Tree of Harmony, because since the main six can use the elements, supposedly the Mean Six can, but I have a theory that they can't, and I'll go into that again later. So we have basically a lot of back and forths, and the Mean Six are causing a bad reputation for the main six, such as the mean Fluttershy bullying these animals, and when the real Fluttershy comes back, all the animals dislike her, and that causes her to be very upset. We also see how Applejack, the mean one, is, making up stories, and Rarity is just wanting to grab every single thing that she can And the main six are getting confused with the mean six's interactions and basically blaming the actual main six characters for the actions that the alternate versions did. And this is my huge problem with the episode. And some people might call it a nitpick, but I'm going to say this is just obvious visualization. The main six didn't even notice the cutie marks on the mean six. They didn't notice that. But then when I heard Rarity tell Applejack that she's like looking a little like bland or something, I forgot the word that she used, but she was basically looking a little like, rugged and like, not all there. I kept thinking, how are they not putting two and two together and realizing, maybe someone's messing with us. And I know that they tried to use the poison joke as sort of like an excuse, but they didn't even confirm that it was the poison joke. No character said, oh, I guess you're right. One character just basically said, what if the poison joke is doing something to us? But obviously there's no poison joke around, so it's not like a character could say, yeah, I guess you're right. I just don't get it. I don't get how the main six don't see something like a green apple cutie mark or an upside down cutie mark and not think to themselves, wait a minute, Applejack, why is your cutie mark green? Like, do we need to go back and see some pony or whatever? Like, I don't understand how they don't just realize that they're being tricked, basically. This episode is just a lot of going back and forth between Chrysalis and the mean six and the main six. And Chrysalis trying to use the mean six to get information as to the whereabouts of the elements. And this brings up my second point. Pinky just outright, gives off all of this information to the mean version of Twilight as to where the elements of harmony are, thinking that it's just a camp activity. And obviously Pinkie Pie is unaware that, Twilight looks a little desaturated. And, she just does this. It's more understandable because it's Pinkie Pie, don't question it, and also, Pinkie Pie assuming that it's a camp activity makes sense. Also, I didn't look close enough, but I don't really see Twilight's cutie mark being changed in the mean version. I don't see anything that, is a little, inverted or something. Nonetheless, they eventually reach the campsite, which is near the Tree of Harmony, and the mean six arrive there first. And we have a interesting scene in which Twilight revolts against Chrysalis and overpowers her. And that makes sense because Chrysalis has been weakened after all of this. That being said, she sort of had enough time to recuperate. I don't know. But Twilight overpowers her, and we see that the elements on the Tree of Harmony are turning black. And they actually capture the mean six and turn them into, I guess, twigs. Mean six colored twigs. Now, here's my theory. I think it's evident that the Tree of Harmony can distinguish what is and what is not the real, true, pure main six because, the elements, turned black for a moment, indicating that, these mean six elements of harmony are, imperfect, impure versions of the elements. They're the opposites. They are not pure. I don't know what will become of these twig main six. I don't know what will become of them. I don't know if Chrysalis will take them or something. I'm not going to spoil what might happen in Season 9 because there is a couple of things that are confirmed. I have a feeling that these main six twigs are not really going to be used unless it's being used for something momentous like the Season 9 premiere or finale. I don't think they're going to be used for this season's finale because I think that's going to be way too soon to use them. The episode basically ends off where the main seven apologize to each other for the actions that the mean six caused because the mean six's actions related to the stuff that the main six were actually going throughout, the hike to the campsite, such as Starlight not telling Applejack and being honest that she didn't like camping and, she was just being overwhelmed by Applejack's, materials and stuff that she was putting on her. Rarity was carrying, a surprisingly small amount of stuff and she really wanted more stuff and she wanted to bring more things to the campsite, and that relates to the mean six Rarity taking everything. And we see that they're apologizing to each other, and, the episode just kind of ends off there, and Chrysalis, you can see, flies away, and we don't know what becomes of her. She's obviously going to make another attempt. They're not going to just leave us hanging. Something is going to be done. there will be a conclusion to Chrysalis's story arc as a villain. Whether or not she gets reformed, whether or not she thinks back to when the mean Twilight said, "Oh, you need friends," we don't know. We can only assume. I think that this episode could have been better. Like I said before, I think the concept is interesting. I love the animation. I like the interactions. I can't excuse the main six not seeing the inverted or miscolored cutie marks because it's right in front of them. And I can't excuse them for not knowing about their actions and about how, the main six act normally. I mean, you could clearly see how Twilight in the Elements of Harmony two-parter was the last to become discordant. And you can see that Twilight knows what these other discordant main six members are like. Now, yes, they can just assume, oh, we're having a rough day, and when we're having a rough day and arguing with each other, these are the attitudes that we have. But I don't think that the desaturated colors is just a visual effect for the viewers to distinguish. I think that was evident that Discord made the main six desaturated and bland and turned them into a discordant, less empathetic version of themselves. So that's really it. Again, I'm sort of going in circles. It's not the worst episode. It's just not the best, and it certainly is not a good mid-season finale in my opinion. I would like to hear your thoughts. I'm sure that a lot of you probably liked this episode because you liked seeing Chrysalis, but maybe I sparked something in your mind. Maybe I showed something to you that you didn't realize when you saw it. I hope I did. Just share me your thoughts, and I guess that's about it. This is going to be a pretty long review. Wow. I do hope that I can continue to make things like Thinking in My Head videos, and once again, I have my other channel that I'm doing TF2 montages on, and I'm enjoying doing that. I really am. So check them out. And as always, I'll see you whenever the next video is. I can't guarantee it's going to be in a week, but stick with me, and I will try to provide what I can.